We are taught that being good brings victory, but in Assassin's Creed 3, the good guy loses everything and the villain is the only one making sense. For Connor Kenway, the path of the assassins was a death sentence for his soul. Meanwhile, his father Haytham thrived because he embraced the world's ugly compromises. He didn't find the root of the system, he learned it, leveraged it, and survived it. In this video, we will discuss how Connor got trapped in this rigid idealism that ultimately failed him, how Haytham Pragmatism helped him win even after his death, and why do I compare him with Bobby Kotick. If you're curious how both approaches can affect your life and how to learn from both of them, stick till the end of the video and I will explain all of it to you. Well, let's dive into how these two men, bound by blood and divided by creed, which became the clearest lesson this series ever offered. In complex realities, uncompromising virtue can guarantee failure. It's easy to say that Connor doesn't enter Assassin's Creed 3 as a blank slate. He enters as Retonkathon, shaped by trauma, fueled by justice, and sharpened by a belief that truth and freedom are absolutes. To him, the world can be divided into right and wrong, oppression and liberation, tyrant and victim. We love him for that because it's clean and it's heroic. His journey starts as a tragic moment when Charles Lee, along with his men, attacks his village, which led Connor to witness the death of his mother in front of his eyes. This fuels his anger, and without a father or mother figure, he sees the world as either strictly bad or good. As time passes by, Connor finds Achilles, a wise mentor that further helps Connor to establish his identity and adopt assassin techniques, philosophy, and equipment. Becoming assassin was the final piece in building Connor's motivation, which is not ideology, it is protection. He believes eliminating the Templars will save his people. The moment Connor joined the revolution alongside the Patriots was the moment where his naivety and idealism started to fail him. Connor genuinely believes that helping the Patriots win independence will lead to justice for everyone, especially the natives people. He thinks that tyranny is the root of the problem, and that if he removes the Templar and the British control, then fairness will follow. This belief motivates nearly all his early cooperation with figures like Samuel Adams and the Continental Army, alongside with George Washington later on. But the American Revolution isn't a clean battlefield in itself. It's a very grey area with private interests, where merchants, militia, spies, and loyalists alongside with patriots. They're all just selling liberty in public while buying power in private. Connor believes revolutions change systems, but revolutions often just change who runs them. Connor's binary lens blinds him in the motives of his allies. He assumes that founders' rhetoric matches their actions. He assumes that freedom for all means freedom for his people. He rarely questions Patriots' leadership motives, assuming ideological alignment ensures ethical behavior. When he discovered that Washington will sacrifice native villages for strategic advantage, it was not just a political betrayal, it was a cosmological one. His moral map collapses. He realizes that all this time he has only been used by Patriots to just gain advantage. And the worst part is when he tries to go back and stop his best friend from doing the mistake of joining Charles Lee, he eventually ends up killing him, losing another dear person to him. Early on, Connor views the Templars, especially Charles Lee, as personally evil, motivated by cruelty. This makes his mission emotionally simple: remove evil men, restore balance. But as Connor confronts each Templar, he learns that William Johnson believed he's bringing stability. Pitcairn is a disciplined soldier, not a monster, and Haytham is principled, intelligent, and sincere. The Connor and Haytham chemistry is very important here. Although Haytham is a Templar, he's still Connor's dad. The rooftop scene, in my opinion, is one of the best moments in the game. The clash of two ideologies where Haytham explains to Connor how freedom is chaos, how patriots are just fake and seek their own interests, tells him how Templars are seeking order through control, and they do not want to pretend in front of the people and give them a false idea of freedom and democracy. Yet, Connor still does not understand and believes that Washington was chosen democratically by the people. They cooperate together for a few missions and mainly to go against the Benjamin Church, and both of them repeatedly hope that one will join one another and join their cause. But here where the important difference between exists. Connor believes he can change Haytham, convince him to abandon Templars just because they are bad. Meanwhile, Haytham never intends to change Connor. He wants to open his eyes, make him understand that his ideals are just simply childish. Then there's Haytham Kenway, charismatic, calculating, and brutally clear-eyed. He isn't surprised by human greed, he banks on it. He isn't disappointed by hypocrisy, he counts on it as a constant, and because of that he's never blindsided. Where Connor sees villains, Haytham sees variables. He doesn't need the world to be good, he needs it to be legible. His philosophy is simple: if you can't cure the disease, manage the symptoms. Work with the system, restrain chaos, and extract stability. There's a moral cost, yes, but there's also progress, order, and survival. Haytham collaborates with men Connor condemns, and not because he agrees with them, but because he understands the operating system of power. People act in their self-interest, and institutions protect themselves. If you want outcomes, you don't preach morality, you design incentives. That is why when on the rooftop, Connors asks him about Charles Lee, Haytham defends him and tells him that he's the only one that understands this world the same way he does. Haytham knows that Lee is no perfect, and he was completely shocked when he found out that Lee did not follow his order and attacked Connor's village without telling him. Think of Haytham as a very professional investor. He does not care how the company is treating its employees, if they source their supply ethically or if they have a criminal record and legal breaches. As long as the company is profitable and increases the shareholder value, he will keep investing in it. Being liked is optional, being effective is not. That's where Bobby Kotick fits the comparison. Kotick became one of the most disliked executives in the modern gaming, surrounded by controversy, employee backlash, and years of public criticism. Yet none of that removed him under the power for over 30 years. He stayed because the system he operated rewarded results. Under his leadership, Activision Blizzard, home to franchises like Call of Duty and World of Warcraft, generated tens of billions of dollars in revenue over decades. In the end, sold for approximately $69 billion. Like Haytham Kenway, Kotick appears to have accepted being hated as a cost of a control. This isn't praise, it's observation. Both figures illustrates the same uncomfortable idea. In systems built around power, effectiveness often outlasts morality. That's not the world we want, but it's often the world we get. While Kotick's results were effective, they lacked a moral compass. That success came with significant consequences for employees. Multiple investigations and lawsuits alleged a workplace culture marked by harassment, discrimination, and inadequate leadership response. Reporting by the Wall Street Journal indicated that Kotick was aware of serious misconduct allegations for years while failing to inform the board or take decisive corrective action, contributing to employees' distrust and widespread internal protest. It is safe to say that Haytham practices the art of necessary evil. He lies when truth will get him killed. He bargains with devil to keep demons out. He pivots fast because he isn't emotionally attached to a narrative about purity. That detachment is his weapon. He's not fighting the gravity, he's using it. You don't have to like Haytham to respect him. He's not trying to be a good man in a bad world by any means. He's trying to be an effective one. So is the message become a Templar? Not exactly. The truth sits between these poles. Connor's idealism gives direction and orientation towards justice, dignity, and protecting the vulnerable. Haytham's pragmatism, on the other hand, gives traction, the ability to move in the real world without styling out. Idealism without pragmatism is a compass without wheels. You know where to go, but you never arrive. Likewise, pragmatism without idealism is an engine without a map. You go fast, but where and at what cost? Connor's tragedy isn't that he cared about freedom. It's that he mistook moral clarity for a strategy. He tried out virtue system that required leverage. He confronted structure with speeches and steel, but he didn't build counter-structures like alliances, institutions, sustainable power. The war chief in him could win a fight. The statesman he refused to become could have won the peace. The best way to synthesize both Connor and Haytham is to follow these three levers. First, principles set the destination. Basically, stick to your principle and do not compromise. Second, incentives build the road. This simply explains why others will align with you and why will they want to follow you. And last one, institutions lock the gains. This shows how victories survive you. Haytham mastered second and third point, often at the cost of one. Connor, on the other hand, mastered the first point very well and ignored the second and third one until it was too late. Synthesis doesn't mean betrayal, it means sequencing. Hold your non-negotiables but negotiate everything else. Define the red lines and then be ruthless about your tactics. That's how you survive the grey without becoming it. At the end of Assassin's Creed 3, Connor has victories carved into his bones but not results carved into the world. His people are displaced, his allies become strangers, his enemies become office holders. Yet, he just returns to a quiet life, stronger, wiser, and most importantly, broken. Not because he wasn't good enough, but because goodness alone wasn't enough. Although Haytham died, his legacy meanwhile moves unseen in the corridors of power, not heroic and not romantic, but definitely effective. The Connor story isn't telling you to abandon your ideals, it's warning you. A pure heart without a practical plan will be used as someone else's tool. If you want freedom to mean something tomorrow, you have to do more than fighting today. You have to build alliances, system, constraints, so your victories outlive you. Connor teaches us where to point the blade. Haytham teaches us when to sheath it and pick up the pen. The world is very great, so in order to navigate it, you don't have to get lost, you just have to get your hands a little dirty. If you're chasing something worth fighting for, don't choose between Connor and Haytham. Synthesize them. Keep your purpose clean and your playbook clever. If this breakdown clicked for you, drop a comment. Are you Team Haytham or Team Connor? And where do you draw your personal red lines? Like, subscribe, and tell me which Assassin's Creed character philosophy you want next.